I can see 3 specific groups that are going to see a lot of value in owning one of these. Owners of smaller adventure boat hulls looking for fuel economy but greater capability and living space. Owners of American center consoles that want the offshore capability but you actually want much more living and entertaining space. And also those of you that have had European boats that have great livability but perhaps not great performance. I think it's those 3 target markets or those 3 groups, and if that's you, jump in the comments, that are going to see a lot of value in one of these. What is this? This is the Aiata Wayfinder 38. And I don't want you to make the mistake of comparing this directly with an adventure boat. It has adventure boat characteristics, it has adventure boat performance and fuel economy, but it's so much more. This big flared bow and this volume and living space on deck and downstairs is much more akin to what you would see on a big American boat. So this feels like somewhere on the crossroads between Europe and America, in my personal opinion. And yes, you might have seen this boat on my channel before because we've already featured it in Istanbul, Turkey. Wonderful place. Go boating there if you get the opportunity. But we're in Palm Beach, Florida. I love this place. And this is the American edition. So we have a lot more weight on this boat. We have a lot more features. And I've got access to it. It's a sunny day. So we thought, why not? Let's take the opportunity and we'll go right through this boat. Then after this video, we're going to be taking her for a drive and testing all the extra systems which are on this one, which were not available on the Aiata that we tested before in Turkey. So my name's Dan Jones, welcome to Dan's Boat Life. As I said, we will be linking to the test drive video after this, but we will just focus on all the features as we can right now and with what available light we have left in the day. And we'll start with the Mercs. Really awesome pairing for this boat because she's running at low revs and she doesn't use a lot of fuel relative to what we're pushing. We've got the joystick feature as well, so you can control it. We did just do some parking demonstrations right in here. It's an absolute one-man or woman operation should you choose, and these engines are a really, really nice match if you are going to load it up with the Seakeeper and the Genset, which adds a lot of weight to the boat. So really good. I think they look handsome on the back of the boat as well. This part of the boat, this aft seat just here is actually on tracks. So they will slide forward. You can see the footrest slides down and we've got this lunch table. We've actually got it raised up because it will also drop down and turn into a bit of a footrest, perhaps sun lounging area. But check out all the drink holders here and you've got something to hold on to just here. And then that step, it is actually quite useful because it's quite a large seat. So you feel you've got quite a bit of depth there. You got somewhere to lean back on with this pole here. Obviously it is designed for towing water skiers, but it's a nice grab hold if you're transiting port and starboard. And this is also doubling as, if I can just find the right, there it is, as an entertainment station. So we've got the Barbie in here. You can flip this up and get it out of the way. You've just got these legs just here that you'll fold and get out of the way. We've got a electric fridge. Come in and have a look. And then we've got a stainless steel sink just here. That's a cold water only sink. And you've also got the heat protection above the Barbie just there. So that's a nice dual use feature just there. And we've got the kid and doggy doors on either side. We have our shore power inlets on the port side, and we've got drop down cleats. We do have a fold out swim ladder. I think it's actually on the other side on this boat, so I'll have to get back to that in the B-roll. And then this is just operating some of the wet bar features just here. But in terms of these opening side doors, these are amazing, because it's a nice solution. Instead of doing drop down wings that everyone seems to be doing these days, you can do that. So if you need to pull a big fish on board, Or like me today, if you just want to transit on and off the dock because you're parking the boat by yourself, it does make life a little bit easier as opposed to having to make your way all the way out the back there. So that's a nice feature. Underneath the decks, there's heaps and heaps of storage, but I'm going to get back to that because I want to take you to the bow. Before I do, just quickly appreciate this lounging space here. And if you want to make it a little bit more comfortable for yourself, you just fold out these legs here and here. And because this is the American edition, we actually have extra refrigeration in there. We've got some storage, pull-out storage boxes in here, boom, boom, with the boat's covers. I've got some lines in there, and you've actually make this area super comfortable because we are also under the protection of the shade, which is given to us by this fold-up door just here. So this is the aft opening door. It's massive. It's on these two big gas struts and it's got two clips. You could actually drive with this open, only at moderate speeds. I wouldn't go doing that in the ocean. There's probably a bit of weight on this glass and door, so I wouldn't want to point load it. But it is quite pleasant to have that protection from both the sun and the weather, because if you want to go inside, obviously this is a full cabin boat. But come up this side of the boat, come with me, and let's go all the way forward, because I think this is part of the boat that you're just not going to be able to achieve on an adventure style hull, which is why I don't believe they are direct competitors. We've got an extended sun lounge on this one. So if you have seen my video of the one in Turkey, it didn't have so much sun lounging. It goes all the way out, really, really nice. And you can option these in different layouts. So you can actually do a little lunch table and shorter seating if you wish. This is a modular design. So you do you is the theme on the IATA, but multiple people can sit along here. It's very, very comfortable. The design of the hull is such that it's going to be smooth in most conditions, so you could cruise at moderate speeds with people up here on the bow at times. Obviously just be careful of the visibility and be careful of the sea state. And then you've got these seats up here which provide a really, really nice facing to these people. So from a social perspective, it's great. But also, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to look at a boat like this from a fishing perspective. So just consider this space and also this space from a casting perspective. So some of you might see a lot of value in that. We've got our pop down cleats here, and then we've got heaps of access on underneath this flexi teak into the bow locker. Look at this, super cool. And look how clean that is. So I would definitely be storing a lot of the boat's fenders in here. Stainless steel anchor down to gal chain, nice deep anchor locker, enough vertical drop for the chain not to get caught by the looks of it, and wonderful access. You can do your anchor operation from the bow here, and we've got our navigation lights there, and then somewhere to hold on to right throughout the boat. Now, it is also possible on the other version to get access into the cabin. I don't think that's set up on this one because we've got the extended sun lounge. Just pay attention to the roof design. It's got a huge gutter. It serves as a grab hold, so when you're moving your way around the boat, you're naturally going to want to hold on to that. But any rain is going to get caught by this gutter and send it forward and aft into drains as opposed to on your shirt. You can option this boat with an opening sunroof, where in Florida we would be doing the same in Australia. So we've got the hard roof instead. Therefore, this design lends itself really, really well to putting surfboards, to putting sup boards, other toys, laying them in this area, and then getting a strap from this bar over to that bar and holding them down on the roof. So I would suggest this is the better setup for that style of boating. And then if you look underneath my feet, all of the floors are openable. So we have got essentially, if you're a fisherman, they could serve you in the kill box function, but they're also great storage, and they're pumped. I think some of them, not all, have even got a macerator, so you can get underneath and put some of your fish or use them as storage all the way down, and then down the back of the boat. That's how we get into the Genset and Gyro, but we'll do that at the end of the video because I want you to appreciate this space. So why don't you guys come in here and have a quick look, because I'm going to do something on this back seat here. So currently I've got it set up to utilize the aft social space, but all you have to do is just flip it over, boom, boom. Now we've got this social space. I'm going to come in that door because you don't have to have this as a lock-up cabin. So currently we've got the big sliding doors. They can lock open, so you can crack them open and get some air in, or you can push them all the way, and then they have a foot latch at the bottom to stop them moving in a seaway. But see how much space we've got available to us now. This area is air conditioned. Because we have got the Genset, we've got some AC going and cooling the cabin. And now look at how much space we have available to us to utilize with views all the way around, remembering that this big back window goes down, so we can lock it up if we're in a cold place or a hot place and control this space, or we can get the whole through flow, which is quite pleasant. And then we've got the table, same again, will reduce in size. We've got proper drink holders, a tinny with a cooler will go on there, no problems whatsoever. We can get in and underneath the floor below my feet here. You just have to hinge this footstep up here to get in there. And then we've got the kitchen module just here, good amount of storage. We've actually just got the little gas cooker, the single sink, cold water. We have the third fridge on the boat. So this one here is right next to the Helm. So we've got the drawer fridge, the Helm fridge, and the Barbie fridge out back. And as you've probably already worked out, for those of you who haven't seen my Istanbul video, boom, boom. So this will flip over, and the helmsman or woman and navigator can enjoy the drive. You've got more than enough space for two big people if you need. And then just pay attention to how much space you have getting through these doors. So really, really big doors. You just got to pay attention to step over this lip here, because it's not a flat step out. So that's going to keep water on the outside and you on the inside. Might as well focus on the Helm. So we have key starts and safety just here. You don't need to use the keys to start the motors. You just set them to on and then just press start button here, and that'll do both of the motors. You can select single lever, which might be comfortable out at sea. That allows you to do that and drive like so. And then when you're parking, we've got the joystick, but we also have backup with the bow thruster. Probably a good idea. She's a 38-foot sort of plus boat, so there's a lot of leverage happening out the back there. That'll let you do sort of fine-tune movements. But we also have the ability to press skyhook just here, and that will hold the boat in position. It works fantastically well with this hull, so it's very predictable. And yeah, I'd say from a solo operator perspective, no worries. That's indicating that we have the Seakeeper on this one. So if you want to, or if you have people who are susceptible to seasickness, this is a fantastic piece of kit. So you're going to run that, or need to run that, either with lithium battery bank or Genset. So that's going to be what's required. And then we've got our Mercury diagnostics display for the motors here, and these Garmin's, they're multifunctional, so we can select what we want to see and display the screens as we see fit. We've got phone charging. That's a touch pad for the phone charger just there. That's your quick anchor windlass. We've got all our lights operation, our bilge and horn. This is the zip wakes just here, so you can set that on auto. You can override it with some manual trim. It does work well with this boat. I'm not a fan of the zip wakes on smaller, lighter boats. They're too slow to respond, but with the right calibration, a boat of this size and weight, it's totally fine. This is going to be your windscreen wiper operation. That's your Fusion stereo, VHF just there. More access underneath us just here. And even for short Dan, I like to see this. There's two legs that pop out. A good fold down step, beautifully done in timber. And this is flexi teak, by the way. This is not real timber, but that would be a timber veneer which is a nice touch against the stainless and the material just there. Above the dash, we've actually got storage. You could put a few safety items up there. Flush, we have speakers, we've got downlights as well, and there's external downlights on this boat should you need them. Compass forward, demister forward, and then making our way down below, we've got a little latch here and a handle, but essentially we've got the sliding companionway. Open that up and then come straight on down. Beautifully air conditioned today on this one, but it's a really wonderful overnight sleeping space for two people. I'm gonna probably, I suspect you would sleep like this. I don't actually know, because you've got reading lights there and there, so maybe they're just trying to cater or allow for both. If you want some privacy, you would actually just boom, boom, do that, and this will fold down. Boom, boom, total blackout. I know that's important for some of my mates up in the Nordic countries where the sun never goes down, so that's very nice. But then obviously we can appreciate these views when you are utilizing the cabin. But we've got rounded edges everywhere, so you're not really going to hurt yourself. Storage, deep storage with phone charging in there. The timber highlights are lovely. It's a nice sort of color combination with the upholstery. Space on either side. We do have storage, so we've got drawers underneath. We've got storage in here. We've got full hanging locker. Sorry, it's a combination. So we've got the hanging thingamajiggy here, but then we've got some shelves behind it, just there. So you kind of, a bit of multi-use, I guess we would refer to that one as. Bit more storage. Also, some air through here, which I did notice was quite useful in Istanbul. As long as it's not raining, if you just want to get some air through the cabin, you can actually still have the main doors closed and have this window open, and it'll send some air into the main cabin to keep it ventilated without making everyone cold. So depending on what part of the world you're in, could be useful. So pass me the camera and I'll just show you one of the main features, because remember, those of you, and I'm just saying this because I've seen a little bit in the comments, if you are comparing this to a 37-foot Finnish adventure boat, the toilet is going to be downstairs mixed amongst the bedroom. Let me just stand in there for perspective. This is a proper head, okay? So look at the space we have here. Got the big window there, and then I've got this fold out thingamajiggy to go over the head, so you can still utilize it as a seating area. Storage. Does this pull out? We have a shower, and then you can see this is a wet area, so that drains. We've got the mirror there. We've got fresh air through a big Lumar hatch just there, and more storage in there. So this is a totally different vibe and feeling as compared to what you would get on an equivalent length adventure boat, and the volume is very, very different. So you do have to see these things in real life to get a feel for it, but I'm just trying to convey that to you as best as I can. So this looks like the world's smallest lounge, but it's actually got a little secret feature behind me there. You can see I've got my storage, my gear bags. It's actually a berth. So this will extend when not in mini lounge mode to be an extra single berth for the right sized person should they need. We've got our pencil fuses and our battery operation just here. And then we also have our 240 breaker panel just behind there. Light switches, AC control down here, but there's another AC control upstairs. And then we also have cross flow ventilation via these hatches here. So just a quick run through, guys, because I know many of you have already seen this boat on my channel. Come out the back and we'll finish it out here. And so you've probably got a bit of a feel for it already. I didn't point out we have the little bin, and we've also got another one on the other side. It's not a bin, it's just got some drawers. But yeah, it's a really interesting concept, this boat. I'm now just going to point out the people who I personally believe, if you're coming out of this boat and you're thinking in that direction, you're going to see a lot of value in owning one of these. So who are you? I think if you had an Axopar 28, okay, cabin T-top doesn't matter, but if you appreciated the fuel efficiency of that boat, if you appreciated the offshore performance of that boat, but now you're looking for more space, you're looking for whether it's lounging around on anchor space for bigger groups of people or proper overnight accommodation for you and your partner, but you still want to have that fuel efficiency that you had on the Axopar, and you still want to have that comfortable ride offshore that you still had on the Axopar, then you're going to see a lot of value in one of these. The next group, if you've had something like a Pursuit or a Boston Whaler, say like a 280 Outrage, so I'm thinking American style center console. So you're used to going offshore, you still want to do that, but your life has evolved in a direction where now, for whatever reason, you might have kids now and you don't want them out in the sun all day. You want to have a space to protect your family, and maybe you do fancy the idea of having a sleeping cabin and you would have already had a toilet, but adding those extra features onto a hull that performs or gives you the performance that you're used to, well, this is going to do it. It's also worth mentioning, you know, this factory, they're in Turkey. They're seriously, they're building to win. I've been to their factory. I know their 5-year plan. They're highly funded because their parent company is one of the biggest companies in Turkey. But the fact that you're getting American build quality for a lot less than American price, basically, is a bit of a win these days. I know everyone's keen on getting the best bang for their buck, but you are getting a very, very high build quality, a really amazing offshore and inshore performance for a much cheaper price. And the final group, those of you who would have had something like a Genset Mary Fisher, I don't know, say like the 1095 or Beneteau on Tears 11. And so you bought that boat probably because of the features that it has. So it's the cabin, it's the living space, it's the kitchen, all those things that you wanted to enjoy on the water. And they're great for that. What they're not great for is drivability. They're not the best boats in the ocean. They're not the most high performing boats, and they're not trying to be. But if you've decided that your boat life needs to involve some of that, well, then that's when you might see some value in this. So I hope that's kind of clear. Please jump in the comments if you agree, disagree, if you own one of these or are thinking about owning one of these. So many of you are helping other blokes, asking questions in the comments, and I really greatly appreciate you doing that. So please keep doing it, because that's what we're doing here. We're creating a community. We're trying to help each other. I'm not selling any of these boats. I'm not affiliated with any factories. So I just want you to use these videos as a tool to help yourself. And on that note, if you want to see how it drives in America, we are doing that coming up next. The twin V10 400 horsepower Mercs. That's what this one's got. We'll be doing it up next. See you then. Subscribe. See you guys.